Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to your December forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see everybody. This forecast is going to help you navigate the month ahead, focusing on opportunities, challenges, and leaving you empowered, hopefully, by the end of this reading. I always like to begin with channeled messages, and today it was really interesting because it's perfectly aligned with your sign. So I always set an intention before I go to sleep. If I'm going to read the next day, show me what I need to see for the sign. And sometimes I forget during the night, and I'm like, why am I dreaming about constellations? So in your channeled messages, what I saw was the constellation of Orion, particularly the 3 stars in Orion's belt. And as I was thinking about this morning, I was like, which card has 3 stars or 3 pentacles in it? It's 3 of Pentacles, of course. And this is a really beautiful energy to be coming through in birthday season for many of you. I'm posting this late November. It's going to, last through the month of December, so Sagittarius season. This is a really, really great month for you to get things done. And actually, if we look at this card here, you can see that for many of you, you're very close to completion. In fact, when I'm looking at these cards, one of the things that comes through is know when enough is enough, and release any need to be perfect, and bring in an extra set of eyes or ears if you need to, just to kind of take a pulse check and say, is this good? Am I ready? Can I let this go? This is a really good month for learning. 3 of Pentacles is connected with that. Orion is a hunter. Of course, this would come through connected to Sagittarius. If there's something that you want or need to pursue, now's a great time in written format to do this, through email, through text, but any communication in general, and state the intention. Say, this is what I would like. For those of you that are career planning or forging a contract, it's also really important to look at the fine print and hammer out, as we're looking at this person sort of chiseling away, but hammer out the details so that it's in your benefit, that this is something that you like, that it's mutually beneficial. 3 of Pentacles is also a card for those of you that are writers or creators, or looking to publish or disseminate something. This is the month to do so. Suffice it to say, this should be a very powerful birthday month for most of you. And those 3 brilliant stars can also represent like milestones or opportunities. So I'm going to look for the 3 shining stars as we go through this particular spread. Of course, the star card itself would be connected to this too. I actually can think of 3 right now. It'd be like the star, the sun, and the 3 of Pentacles. All of these are amazing because the sun is about really coming into your power. The star is about putting that on blast on a high level so that you can pull in opportunities, you can be your authentic self, and the 3 of Pentacles is the method by which you can do that. Let's take a moment now to tune in and set intentions. Imagine that you're looking up at the night sky, and even if you don't know exactly what Orion's belt looks like, just see 3 stars in a line shining brightly in the sky. Feel this sense of connection to source, connection to your purpose, and allow those stars to shine brightly upon you, creating a sense of safety and, again, connecting you to source. In this moment here, as you are protected, let's call in angel, spirit guides, ascended masters, and set the intention to receive whatever it is that you need to see. Okay? You can open your eyes, and let's begin. Significant change coming through here. Change for the better. All right, let's begin with your catalyst. You received Rebirth. This is basically the Ten of Swords, believe it or not, in reverse, which represents healing. The catalyst is helping us focus on how to make that healing happen. And for many of you, it's the understanding that once you know what you don't want, or once you overcome a perceived failure, then there's nowhere to go but up. And this is like the phoenix rising up from the ashes as I'm looking at this illustration. So this is a time to release what you can't control. Know that everything, failure included, can be something that helps you grow. Failure really isn't failure if you're evolving out of it. So some of you may still be in this phase here where it hurts. It's like, I wanted that, but it didn't happen. What I'd like you to focus on in the background is the rising sun, that it's starting to break through this darkness here, and that there's a finality to the Ten of Swords. It doesn't go beyond that. So the next step is this: exploring the new day, letting this month, December, be a complete reset for you, and imagining yourself as someone different, walking into a different path with new opportunities. It's good to know what you don't want, right? This is one thing that comes with age and wisdom. And the more you know what you don't want, the more you know what you want. I'd like you to focus on that as we do the reading. What is it that you want? What is it that you can do? And allow yourself to reinvent, to be reborn this month. I mentioned earlier change for the better. We have two reversals here, and we have the Tower and the Devil here, and the near future and the environment. So this needs to be removed, and it looks like many of you are taking the bull by the horns and saying, I'm going to break this down. So that's good. And then we have a different sort of the lighthouse coming through instead in the form of the Hermit. So I like the trajectory. It's some cleanup work that you're doing. There's a lot of intuitive development. There's some partnership energy. Overall, it looks good. The challenging cards, you can see them. It'll be in plain sight. So if we're going to see a Tower or a Devil, we want to be able to recognize them. And it looks like you will be able to, and I'll help you navigate it as we go through the cards. What I love is right at the center, literally love, Two of Cups. Many of you have support, more support than maybe even you may want. This can sometimes feel almost suffocating when there's a parent or a friend and they're constantly concerned. But think of all the people out there that may not have that support if you're in that camp, and know that maybe the main focus for you is boundaries this month. But you can be grateful and kind, and then also have those boundaries. Thank goodness I have this person that cares so much. I need a little more room to breathe, so I'm going to create some space, but I don't have to cut them off completely. For those of you that are looking for love, and you're saying, Nicholas, I'm holding space, but it's not there yet, soon. We see these tulips growing, and that could represent, just like spring, it takes 3 to 6 months for that energy to sometimes come to fruition, but soon. Keep working on yourself, keep creating that space, and you're calling in a like-minded individual. They almost look like they're attached at the hip, but they're not. You can actually see her dress right there. But there's a lot of close energy here. So if you are looking for love or have just met somebody new, the biggest challenge could be how similar you are. There could be some stubbornness. There could be competition, because there's so much that you have in common that it's sort of like, well, wait, that's what I do. And so just take a deep breath and focus on you. And I do think boundaries is going to be the most important thing. There could be new love coming through, though, and that is exciting. There could be new partnerships coming through, also exciting. We'll look at that as we delve into the expanded forecast in a little bit. But let's look at the second card here, the High Priestess, and it's in the crossing position here. So what this represents for many of you is a culmination of this triptych at the center. So Queen of Pentacles is what you're birthing, creating, and developing out of the ashes of what didn't work out in the past. So the Phoenix rising. You are starting to come into your power, like the wizard behind the curtain. You're seeing your true self. You're starting to put things into motion. And in doing so, something has to leave. It's death, I like to sort of think of it as a portal or a revolving door. There's always something moving in and out. And what's moving in is this energy here of knowledge and power. And there's a return to something that you perhaps had forgotten about. Maybe it's even remembering your true purpose. So we'll look more at that in a second. But let's talk about intuitive development and the High Priestess and how you can maximize this. Before we get into the High Priestess, Apollo settled in behind me, so I just wanted to bring up his photo for a second. I know many of you enjoy seeing him. All right, back to business. High Priestess, this is a really good time for learning. Anything that you want to really sink your attention into, your energy into, you'll see a return on that, and that's why we have all the growth here on those tulip blossoms right beneath this. So you might be juggling a few things. Remember, I saw the 3 stars, so there could be 3 projects, there could be a relationship, an opportunity, personal development. You're going to be juggling just a little bit, but I feel like you can juggle it pretty well. It is an important time to focus on the power of your thoughts. So thinking to yourself, I'm ready, I'm able, and I'm deserving. This tells the universe now. You're ready for all of these things. Rather than, I wish this would happen, or maybe one day this will happen. No, now, and you're setting you're planting the seeds of preparation and, again, willingness and worthiness. I think that's really important. If you have self-defeatist thoughts, you have to work to transmute them. Sometimes we need help from friends or even a therapist to help us work through it, but one technique is to turn a fear into a question. Again, a perfect example is I can't. Why can't I? How can I? How will I? I am. So you're going to ask yourself those various questions until you get to the point of I know how I can do this and I am going to do it and here's how. And that's sort of like my takeaway whenever I'm feeling that sense of fear. Also, you just may see things coming. You may see partnership before it even happens, or you'll recognize it immediately when you meet it. You may see that there's trouble, and you're going to work to course correct before this happens. You're getting ahead of the tower. Tower reverse is actually good. Trust your intuition now more than ever, okay? Many of you are getting out of the prison of thought. This is one of the best illustrations of the Eight of Swords. The top of that birdcage is open, but the person gets so used to sort of thinking, feeling, or hearing that they can't, perfect connection to what we were just talking about, that they don't realize that now they can. So allow yourself to let go of the phrase, I can't. Think instead, what can I do? If not this, then what? And if not this, then how? There's not just one way to do any one thing. So allow yourself to take a different path, maybe a winding path. Let go of a need to have it done in a certain time, in a certain way. That openness will help you liberate yourself. Let's look for a moment here at the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card. This Eight of Swords shows us someone who is blindfolded. The blindfolds extend around the ears, and it can represent sometimes wanting to block out what you're seeing or hearing. Often it is because maybe we're looking at the environment, you don't like what you see there. This is reversed though, and it's basically saying accept someone's true colors when they show them, and decide what you're going to do if there's something in your environment or even in yourself that you don't like. This is a chance to take action, and you can't stuff it back into the prison of thought. The lid is already open, the wings are already spread, and it's time to fly and move beyond this, okay? So this is recognition, revelation, and then finally the decision that I need to go into a new direction. I mean, we already ostensibly are looking at something from the month previous here with the Ten of Swords reverse, which is that didn't work. So let's try something new. Let's shake it up this month and do something different. This is liberation. We see the wings on this particular card. We see that the cage is open, but it does require a decision on your part that you're ready, that enough is enough, okay? We have a really empowered card coming through here in the recent past. The Queen of Pentacles. Notice in the corner there's a bunch of rabbits representing the speed with which progress and movement can happen once it finally does. Rabbits are a symbol of abundance because they multiply so fast, right? And also connected to April, Easter time. So there's going to be some nice movement in quarter one of the year for you, the first 3 or 4 months. The Queen of Pentacles reminds us that now is a time to focus on personal development. She is a birthing and creating and nurturing energy, and she is the minor arcana equivalent to the Empress. Anything that you decide to put your energy into, much like the High Priestess here, you should see a return on it. When you believe it, when you can see it in your mind's eye, you can call it into existence in the physical realm. She's helping you manifest what she is seeing. See it here and create it here. The Queen of Pentacles is also someone who's not afraid to roll up her sleeves and get her hands dirty to basically make it happen. So a lot of hands-on work going on right now. This is also connected to personal development. So if you want to get training, go to school, the learning energy that we were talking about, these are two perfectly paired cards. And if you were struggling or even had a setback with money or career, she's coming through to help you shift it. 3 months, a quarter of the year is what I'm seeing here. And those stars were bright. So this is a nice outcome, a new day, a chance for you to step into your power. Good stuff. Let's see what's coming through in the crowning position. It's basically the way to deal with everything that we just talked about. King of Swords. The King of Swords is action and basically walking the walk and talking the talk. It's a combination of the two. Communicating when necessary, moving when necessary, and also using your platform, whatever that may be, to help create the most, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. King of Swords is a born leader, is a born communicator, and is not afraid to speak up. It's not about how much, how often, or what you say. It's about how effectively you do that. Just a few words can create more change than you might imagine. And a simple, like one word statement, yes, let's do this, or no, I don't want this. Yes or no in and of themselves can completely move you in a new direction. So keep it succinct, keep it clear, keep it simple, but definitely step up to the plate and say what you need to say and do what you need to do. This is also a card connected with legal action and legal documents. So make sure that you're also getting things in sort of like contractual form if you need that. Let's take a look at the near future here. We have the Tower card, but it's in reverse. I view that as very optimal when we're pulling the Tower card. It's also in the near future, which means because we had High Priestess energy at the center, that you see the change coming. It's really a decision on your part of what to do and when to do it. Not if, but what and when. That helps take something out of the equation there. A Tower reverse. It's basically a chance to disassemble something, reorganize something. To use an analogy of surfing, it's analogous to basically going beneath the wave and using the momentum to bring you to the other side, rather than just standing there and saying, I'll let the wave crash into me and we'll see where it takes me. Much better to be an agent of change. Now, this is coming through as a direct message for some of you that tend to try to be people that fix everyone and everything. This card and the guides are saying, clean up your own messes and let others do the same. It's not your job to pick up all the pieces for friends, for family, for a boss. You can do so much, and then at a certain point, it's like, this is your mess too, or this is your mess in general. I don't have to mop it all up. When you do that, it also helps cut through codependencies. And even if there's not a codependency, there may be an unhealthy attachment with someone and you in their life. I mentioned like career relationships. Sometimes there's someone who leans so heavily upon you that you can't take a sick day, or they're just not doing their fair share of the work. So it's really important to create boundaries, to say no, and to stop these sort of cycles. I'm also seeing like a cyclone, which kind of like a tornado or a hurricane energy, and you can get wrapped into other people's drama. So you don't have to clean up the messes, and you don't want to get pulled into that cyclone-like energy. That's going to be some of the best advice with this Tower. It feels more like it's that kind of stuff. People and cyclical energy, less with you, more around you. When it does come to things that are directly affecting you and your life, a Tower reverse can be an immediate, sometimes positive change that you have to react to without dragging your feet. So it could be like a new job opportunity and you have to move. A relationship that sweeps you off of your feet, since we have the Two of Cups at the center. It can also be something that if you act quickly enough, you can lessen the result of it because we have the devil there. So if there's a health issue, that's why we don't want to ignore something. We want to embrace it and change it so that this energy dissipates. So proactivity is the name of the game here. But again, one more time, the guides want me to say, clean up your own messes, let others do the same. It's not your job to do it for them. As we take a look at you, one of the things that might be lacking in your life right now is rest. Because without the rest, we can't get the rebirth energy. So for me, one of the most important things is getting a good night's sleep. I need at least a few hours. 4 won't do it for me anymore. 5 to 7, I'm happier with 6, 7, or 8. So know what your sort of Goldilocks zone is and make sure you're getting the quality and the quantity so that you can function properly. This can also represent for some of you finally letting go. So the Death card, the 6 of Swords, and the 4 of Swords are all different forms of grief and moving on. This one is just like, finally it feels easy, like being at peace with something. So I feel good about those of you that have been challenged with either this pain of the past here, like this 10 of Swords, where you're like, when is it going to end? When am I going to see an end to this? It feels like you're finally getting to a point where you see the purpose of whatever didn't work, and now you see the opportunities, and you're ready to just kind of like let it go. Focus on your dreams, both your creative vision, your daydreams, and also when you're asleep. These are some of the most potent ways that you can tap into your intuition. Let's take a look at your environment card. What I do like about this particular devil card is we see it coming. Like I said, we have the High Priestess here. We have whatever the devil's trying to do. Somehow the plot it could be revealed to you, or you look at something and you think, that doesn't look right, that doesn't sound right. And you ask a question and you find out it isn't. Trust your intuition, it's going to help you. I saw the cyclone, but now I see the web here. And it's interesting that they're using a spider here. It's like, trust your spidey sense. If you meet someone and you think to yourself, they're trouble, trust in that. If you meet someone and you think there's more to the story, also trust in that. If you have to sign a contract in this particular period of time, there is a little bit of a retrograde until the middle of the month. There's a retrograde until the middle of the month. So make sure that you're super discerning and you get, as we were talking about, proper legal counsel. I think the biggest thing here is not to get pulled into other people's web, their web of drama, of deception, whatever it is that they're trying to pull you into. You're going to respectively decline and say, no thanks. No, you don't even have to say thanks. And you might even want to call in to someone else's attention, like, this isn't right. Because not surprisingly, we have the 5 of Swords above the devil. And it looks like this is habitual, something that's happened before. So sometimes people have this way of just kind of like, the 5 of Swords is someone who, it's almost like gaslighting. They'll claim that something isn't happening when it actually is happening, and you can see the shadow energy here. And you are starting to really come into your own and say, that doesn't feel right, doesn't sound right, doesn't smell right. I don't think so. So really, really be discerning. And let it go. 2 last notes, and then we're going to move on to hopes, fears, and opportunities. With the devil energy, a lot of times people just can't give you what you want. So in a relationship, they may be attached or they may not want to commit. Or someone may actually legitimately just say, I'm not good enough, or we shouldn't be together. They're trying to tell you this isn't a match. I had a friend, it was just a friendship once, where they said, I'm not a good friend, you shouldn't trust me. And they proved themselves right. And I wished that I had listened more. I thought that they had low self-esteem, but in fact, they were giving me the hint of the century, which is move on. So if someone says a self-deprecating thing and warns you, heed the warning and move on. I've learned the older that I get that it's not false. It's not like someone has false modesty or has low self-esteem. They are actually telling you this is trouble. So if you have that anywhere in your life, whether it's a friendship, a lover, a coworker, or any opportunity, move in another direction. Let's take a moment now to move to hopes, fears, and opportunities. You got 2 cards in this position. I like the bottom one. 8 of Cups can be second chances, new cycles, but we have to deal with the presenting energy of the 5 of Swords first. So the way that they illustrated it here, we can see that someone is acting in a way that it's very difficult to hold a conversation or be in their presence. If we look at one of my favorite illustrations of it here, the light seers, sometimes it's the words that they say that get stuck in your head. They could be argumentative. They could be critical, not constructively critical, but just critical, like you can't ever please them. Or they just don't listen and take accountability. They always point their finger and it's a blame game. And we can see with the Devil card that they need to be looking inward. So if there is someone that evokes this sort of energy in your life, it's time to release that person. And again, see them for who they are. This can also represent, someone that is two-faced, right? They say one thing to you and something else to someone else. I always see this as a sister card to the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is just someone lying or being deceptive. This is someone, again, it can be gaslighting or being critical or trying to take you off your game by getting into your headspace. They're not worth the time and energy, okay? You may be overdue for a break. 8 of Cups can also be a vacation, sabbatical, or leave of absence, or just 5 minutes away from something so that you can figure out, how do I feel? What do I want? Separate from all of this web of entanglement which was showing up in the environment. Once you get that clarity, you'll be able to move on. If there was something that you couldn't do before, specifically because the beginning of the month is in retrograde, Mercury retrograde specifically, you have a second chance to resolve it and to do so with a degree of success. You can break an old cycle, you can make a new one, you have a second chance to accomplish something that you couldn't before. This can also be a little voice in your head saying, you can't do this, you're not good enough, this will never happen, and we need to dismiss that. Because your final card in this spread, the outcome, is the Hermit, and this is reminding you that you have the insight, the power, and the wherewithal to make it happen. The reversal of the Hermit is basically saying step into the spotlight, let people see you for who you are. And if we take a look here at the traditional illustration, you can see that basically the Hermit's done the work and is starting to emanate that glow up that's in this lantern, the star. So it's just a matter of time before you two are ready to step into that star power. Let's expand everything to health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll get started with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. As we take a look at the Oracle card here, we have Archangel Michael coming through. The card is reversed. Here's your message. Spiritual acceleration. You're experiencing spiritual upgrades, move forward. So the challenge, if this card is reversed, is actually taking the first step. Wanting to maybe stay in that prison of thought because it's comfortable, because it's familiar. Maybe resisting seeing what isn't serving you anymore and stagnating, not taking the necessary step. All right, let's look at all of the cards and see if there's some messages around general health and well-being coming through. Again, with the reminder that I am a tarot card reader and a medium, but if there's anything going on in your physical health, work with a professional. I'm just looking at the energy here. I'm drawn immediately to these 2 cards. It might be time to get out of a living situation. Sometimes the Tower can represent something that isn't sustainable for your health and well-being. You might have outgrown the place that you're in because you have more things, your family has grown, or there could be poor construction. We could take it almost at face value, where there's constantly something breaking. The air conditioner, the roof is leaking, or the heat isn't working, you name it. So if there's a place that you're living and you just feel like you're taping it together and, it's there on a hope and a prayer, it might be time to look for something new. This can also be physical health and well-being. So if you've been sacrificing your own health in order to help everyone else and do everything else, you have to stop for a moment and really take care of your body in this time and make sure that, that you have what it takes to enjoy life. Because we may live many lifetimes, but we only get one in this body, so make the most of it and treasure your body. Make sure that you're eating well, sleeping well, taking care of yourself. And to that end, If there are any vices, whether it's drinking, smoking, working, whatever you do to excess, pull back and step away from that. This may be a time of sobriety and change for the better for some of you. Okay, other things that I'm seeing. Like I said, it could be a person. This Two of Cups and this Five of Swords, it could be the same energy and the devil. Someone that's too much in your business, someone that isn't always forthcoming, or that may say things that get under your skin. In this situation, it's better to step away from that. That's not truly the friend that they're making themselves out to be. You can see through that more likely than not. Other things, if you're overdue for a hearing test or for a trip to the ophthalmologist or optometrist, Eight of Swords is saying, please take care of that. Quality and quantity of sleep, it's both that matter. And again, if there are sleep interruptions, you definitely want to talk to your doctor about that. But sometimes we're just not making the time for sleep. So putting away the TV remote, focusing on meditation, doing some exercise, anything that can help regulate the sleep patterns would be really, really good. If there's a mess, clean it up. That was something that came through. So this can be a messy house, a messy office, or too many things on your schedule so you can't focus. So there could be a lot going on in your mind as well. A small break or vacation could really, really help. And this is the kind of trip, because we have the Four of Swords, that doesn't have an itinerary. It's a destination. You go there, you relax, you kind of unplug from things. And if we look at the Hermit, this is a research and information card. So if you need a little bit more information on any one thing, now is the time to dig in and to get informed. Some of you might have just gotten pregnant. Queen of Pentacles and the Tower could be an unexpected pregnancy. There could also be a change happening in your body. For some of you, this is something that it looks like you can get a handle on as long as you act quickly. Because we saw, don't ignore this, we see an active Tower and we see a Devil reversed. So at least all of these cards are in a muted format, which means that you can hopefully affect them for the better. And that's pretty much everything here. So let's move on. Let's go to wealth. This is resources, life, purpose, and career. I'm just going to pull the card up for this one. There could be something really nice coming in. So the gift piece is myriad. One of the things is to use your gift. It could, for some of you, your gifts may be creativity. And maybe for some of you, you are a really great born leader or communicator. Whatever your personal gift or calling is, that not only is going to be something that can help you achieve success and opportunity, but it's a gift to the world too. So give back whatever it is that your calling is, and know that the universe has a way of supporting you. One last note on this. This is about making sure that people that work hard get rewarded. A gift could be a raise or a promotion. So if you're in a company where you're a leader, make sure that that's happening. If you're someone who performs really well and this is lacking, it's something that we want to talk about as we start to look at all these cards here. So before we move on to the next section, Apollo is back. Let's give him a little pat on the head and then we'll get started. Hey buddy, how's it going? Thank you. All right, let's get into the major breakdown here for all things wealth. I like to break it into three categories. First, those that are currently employed or own their own company, job seekers next, and then finally, students and retirees. So if you already are working for someone else, we'll start with that, whether full-time or part-time, basically this is for you. All right, so what I'm seeing here is change, but also some either rapid change or some things that haven't been announced, but you already know it's happening. Maybe you've seen it in the papers, like there's a chance for a takeover or a buyout or downsizing because of the Tower here, and management just isn't really talking about it. So you could ask a direct question. Say, hey, is this happening? And if it is happening, what does it mean for me? Or this could be exciting. I'm interested in this kind of role if this is true. So I would cut through the nonsense, see if you can read and understand what's going on. However, your boss or just the company in general may also not be able to disclose things. So sometimes the non-disclosure of the devil is just, it's out of their hands. But it's worth asking a question and saying, keep me posted. And I would love to talk about how my role would change if this happens. So that's one narrative that I'm seeing. Another one is issues and challenges, but the company's not dealing with it. So the structure isn't solid because leadership might be lacking, because it's a disorganized company with people that basically, or even like a morale issue because of all the webs here where basically there's too much competition and people don't follow through on their promises. We saw the gift card here, and if you've been passed over for a promotion a couple of times, it starts to get under your skin, right? So we need more clarity and we need more honesty, and these two cards are blocking that. So do what you can to cut through some of the nonsense here and keep doing what you're doing. Like, the work quality is good, not at the expense of your health or well-being, but avoid gossip. And I think now, if you're not getting the support that you need, we see the hermit here. She's going fishing. She's looking around. She's making sure that she's not putting all of her eggs in this basket if this is the kind of behavior that's cyclical, right? For everybody else, here's what I see. First of all, you can create change. What's going well for many of you is you have a good sort of great people skills, actually, and you may say, I feel like I'm stagnating here, like I'm stuck. What if I change this and then and maybe I can launch into a new trajectory? So you may be going back to school. You might actually have a conversation and say, I would love to try this particular skill here. You're an agent of change. There are many ways you can go about it. The one common goal that I'm seeing, or the one common theme rather that I'm seeing with all employed statuses right now, is a little bit of disorganized energy, something that doesn't feel like it's providing you what it needs to, a lot of empowerment from your perspective, and a need to navigate through this. So this is your moment to decide if you want to stay. How are you going to help empower them to clean up the mess too? And if you're going to move on, or if you're going to expand, maybe transfer to a different division, et cetera, how do you start to create that action plan? Because I feel like you need a different point person. Whoever it is that you are going to or talking to right now, they either don't have the power or they don't follow through. So you need to find a different person that you can talk to, a different expert. The hermit can be an advisor. It could be a trusted person in HR. It could be another mentor at the company. All right. Moving on to those that have this is for self-employed. So if you own your own company, here's what I see. It's time to make some changes. I feel like some of you are clinging on to something that doesn't work. Maybe it's because of how much you invested, but it might be time to try some new things. This is clinging to the past. This is ignoring something. And the sooner you fix that, the better. Also, you could be underestimating growth. So with the Queen of Pentacles, we see a decent growth spurt here. And if there's a lot of demand, then what can happen here is there's a loss of trust if you can't keep up with the demand. I think the one thing right now for many of you too is just this feeling of exhaustion and mapping out the whole year in general. So I do think like ebbs and flows, because depending on the type of work that you're doing, there may be a time where it flourishes and then there's not as much. So how do you plan out for both the boom and bust periods in the year ahead? What I do like about your business, you have a good mind for it, first of all, which is good. Your communication skills are great. Maybe you want to be a disruptor. This is a really cool card for those that are innovators. So if you launch a new application on a phone, for instance, or something that can save people a lot of time and help unshackle them, help them see it from a new perspective, you come through as a thought leader and you can capitalize on that. So the one way we can read this very positive is to just be a disruptor. Don't follow the status quo. Do something different. That actually helps us with the next piece, which is those who are seeking employment. If you're looking for a job, there's a lot of things going on right now that make it hard to know where you stand. There could be a job listing that's there one day, gone the next, or a company that just pulls a listing. There also might be someone that already has an internal candidate picked, and you go through the process and you know that. That's frustrating. I see one that's worth going back to with the Eight of Cups. But again, I see a point person here who doesn't always tell you everything. So it's going to be important for you to come prepared with tough questions, research, and then just feel it out. If you leave the interview feeling exhausted, frustrated, or confused, there's better places to go. If you feel inspired and like this is the match, then listen to that intuition. It feels like it could be on either extremes, not like a lot of in-between energy. Your creativity and your networking skills are things that can help open doors. A door has opened that was once closed. And one of the things that could help you also open doors is again, deciding perhaps to even go back to school, which is going to help us go into the next category. Students, here's what I see for you. This could be a time to change schools, majors, or focus. And any of this could be, it's not mutually exclusive. The tower is typically a change. One of the reasons that this might be happening is the place where you decided to go, or the place that you've been studying for a while, you've outgrown it, or perhaps what was shown on the brochure wasn't what you actually experienced when you went there. Sometimes things are marketed one way, but the experience is different. What we see here is a chance for you not to make an immediate decision. This is good for everybody, by the way. Before you decide I'm in or I'm out, take a break. This could be deciding to go for an internship, to study abroad. Also, before you transfer, to spend some time at that school, possibly even in an off semester, and see, is this good? Before I sign up for something else, do I like it here? So taking a trip could be really, really helpful. I do think that you're going to end up just fine here, because the Hermit card is exactly what I'd want in education. But much like the people that have like a boss that's not listening, this could just be changing your advisor. I did that when I was in grad school. I had an advisor that was stubborn and not listening. So I just went to the dean, and she was then my advisor. She said, I'll do it. You're not the first person to complain. You never know when that happens. And we have the rebirth card here. So for everybody, whether you're working or you have your company or you're a student, you get to bounce back. You're going to bounce back. But it requires a little bit of work on your part and a little bit of imagination as well. Okay, last thing for students, and then we'll move on to retirees. You may just need a better organization in your life. There could be, however you've been doing it, you need to re-examine that and make sure that maybe you decide to go all digital, so everything's in your phone, or there's too much on your schedule. Something here about general organization isn't where it should be. And perhaps you just can't study. Your dormitory situation may not be ideal, or roommate situation. They're driving you crazy. There's something going on there as well. Okay, retirees, change it up. You might actually want to move, downsize. You may want to, if you have a living situation, this might also be changing. We are looking at, we'll talk about this in relationships, there could be a divorce, there could have been a loss in your life, and that recalibrates and changes everything too. So in the case of a loss, give it some time before you decide to sell or move, but start to explore the options. For everybody else, here's what I see. First of all, highly creative energy with the High Priestess. You can do anything you set your mind to right now. I think one of the things here is this desire to do more on your own. Travel for sure is a part of this. And for some of you too, I'm getting restlessness. It doesn't necessarily have to do with sleep, but it's just sort of like, I'm excited. I want something more. What does the next chapter look like? And in this case, for many of you, it's a chance to really kind of put yourself into a creative activity. So I'm getting writing actually here with this card. Or that you might be like reading a lot, reading or writing to kind of like expand your horizons and help yourself decide, because it could also just be journaling. What do I want? Where do I see myself, etc. All right, we're going to take a look next at relationships and love. So love is all types of relationships here. We have Set, who's a little bit chaotic. So I mentioned that 2 of Cups at the center could be someone who is causing some of the chaos. This, coupled with all of these cards here, could be someone who tries to manipulate or convince you to do things that you don't want to do. This could be someone who just lacks proper boundaries. There could also just be a relationship that's starting to kind of like fall apart. We'll talk about all of this. We're going to break it down into 3 categories: those in a relationship looking for love, and single and happy. Let's begin with those that are currently in a relationship. So, much like the working situations and everything else, major change. The Tower could be leveling up or breaking down. So this is a make or break it month in many relationships. One of the things that could be bringing about this energy of either expansion or contraction is the Devil. So this could be something that wasn't communicated, so a secret coming out. It could be a health or financial or environmental, because it's in the environment, challenge that's out of your control. And it's a pressure point for the relationship. If you can navigate this, you've got this. We have then that star power, that star energy in the outcome. The important thing here is to stay level-headed, to be honest, and to listen, because these 3 cards are the exact opposites of that. And also to pay attention to the signs and signals along the way. If you do that, you'll be fine. Are there some challenges? Yes. But this could be changed for the better. That was what I read when I first started to pull it. And again, these can be interpreted in that way, as long as you follow your intuition and you get ahead of this. If there's something that's difficult to say, be the one that says it rather than having a family member, friend, or coworker bring that to your partner. It's much better for them to hear it from you. They may not want to talk about something. There could be a problem going on, and again, it could be a health thing, and it's like, I want to help you, but we have to be clear and honest and transparent. So that's one thing that I'm picking up on. For some of you, a birth of a child can be this too, because it's like out of your control. It could be unexpected. Even when it's expected, it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know what I was getting in for. And we see a lack of sleep. We see finger pointing. We see exhaustion. It'll be all right. It's just a matter of kind of acclimating to a new norm, right? You might have just moved in with a partner as well. And that takes some time because boundaries are no longer there. It's like, why is this person in my business all the time? It's because you're living with them, right? So you're going to find basically ways to have your space and recognize their space and still be partners. We have good partnership energy. This is a natural nurturer, like I said, someone who can really take care of a person. This is someone who gets the work done and is a great communicator. This person shows it, this person says it, but this person also does it. This person may talk more than they listen, and this person has a lot to say but needs space. So holding some space so that person can communicate could also be part of this. And knowing that actions from them speak just as large as words. Now, the other thing that I'm picking up on here is potentially the devil can be like a third party, and it's not always like an affair or something of that nature. It can be a friend or family member that comes in and creates chaos. So if that's the case, obviously distance is necessary and boundaries, but the partner needs to be there. Whoever's relation this is, everybody needs to be on the same page, and they need to echo your boundaries too. For those of you that have just had it, I see it. There may be something where there's too many cracks in the foundation. You want to do your best. As long as both of you are putting in the work, I see a favorable outcome. But if one party is not, if one party is walking away, and that can be the Eight of Cups, give them some space. They may come back. They might just need a minute to collect their thoughts. But if they keep walking out, then that's something to be mindful of. So challenges, manageable challenges, but there has to be mutual respect, honesty, and work. And I can only do so much when I'm reading, but that's what I see here. For everybody else, there are some things out of your control. And, there's some positive things like financial or personal growth, but there's some challenging things, possibly like health, especially since this is the Ten of Swords. And because it's a kind of masked ten of Swords, it's coming back now as I'm looking at relationships as that. Okay, moving on to if you're looking for love. With the Tower and the Devil, I would just say, if it isn't like a burning desire right now, I think your time would be better spent on other things. First of all, creative endeavors, personal growth, anything that you haven't yet completed in your own life, like goal-wise, this is the time to do it. Also, there may be something that you need to deal with internally, because like attracts like, and I see something either not completely managed or dealt with, and that's going to bring in someone that tests that. The main thing that it can be, it doesn't have to be like a major issue with health. It could just be boundaries. So someone can come in and just either be too controlling or just not give you the space that you need. Can you find someone? Yes. If you are looking, we do have Capricorn energy, but because the devil is reversed, I feel like this Capricorn isn't ready to give you what you need. They're more interested in receiving. We have Hermit energy. And so this could be someone who is wise beyond their years, which I like. However, right now they're having a hard time, like communication in general is just a little bit off here. So they may not listen to you. They may do a lot more talking, which I picked up on earlier. And yes, we have earth and air coming in the mix, but I feel like earth is in the past and should remain in the past. I feel like air is good right now. But there's too many things that are kind of in flux in your life. So take some time, and maybe towards the end of December, that can be when you focus a little bit more. And whoever this air sign might be, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, then you can put the energy into that then. You're probably going to meet whoever it is that you're looking for while you're out and about. It's not something that you can, I don't necessarily see you swiping on apps for this. Okay. If you are single and happy, I think it's a prime time for that. As I just said, you may be deciding to move, make some changes in health. You can definitely see massive growth and development in finances. And I think mostly this is a time to just take care of your general health and well-being. All right, let's move on to Destiny. So in the Destiny card, we have the Spirit Guardian of Winter with Retreat coming through there. And this is what I saw also with the Eight of Cups, a chance to get away, a chance to recalibrate, a chance to also imagine what might be next. What is that new you, that new chapter going to look like? Okay, let's go ahead now and go a little deeper into the energy of Sun, Rising, and Moon. We're going to give the cards a shuffle and then see what they have to say here. Sun, Rising, and Moon. They all look great. All right, we're going to start off first with the Sun sign. We have the Ten of Cups coming through here. For many of you, this is a sense of feeling a little bit more like you found your chosen family. It's also perhaps settling into a relationship a little bit more. So if you already met someone, whether it's a friend, a colleague, or a love interest, you're saying, I just want to put the focus here for a bit. And we did get the Two of Cups at the center. So this could just be something that feels right, and trust in that. Now, irrespective of relationships, this is your ability to call in people and opportunities. Ten of Cups, lovers, and even the Two of Cups, they're magnet cards. And it means that when you put yourself out there, particularly when it comes to professional endeavors, people are drawn to you. There's something interesting, charismatic, magnetic. So I think all Sagittarians can benefit from this right now. And by the way, you might meet them in this is like a school setting, school of fish. So it could be if you are going to a professional event, going to school, or some sort of organization, there may be someone there and it's like, oh, this is exactly who I was looking for. And then they can open a door. Or it might be a great new friend as well. All right, moving on to Rising, we have the Magician coming through. The Magician is reversed. That basically is asking you to be a little bit more focused. Sometimes the Magician is looking at all these shiny things and has too many things going at once. So by focusing and being more intentional and being more present, you can also be more effective. If you believe, you're going to be much better also at manifesting. And we have the two most powerful cards when it comes to manifestation, the High Priestess and the Magician. So this could also represent a creative alliance or partnership that comes together this month. But mostly the Magician reversed is distracted. And so focusing on one thing where you can really make a difference, that would be my advice here in Rising and Ascendant. Moving on to Moon, the Hierophant. This Hierophant was reversed, and we're really focusing on, for many of you, leaning into the smart choice here. This is especially true, like your own wisdom. Common sense is another way of looking at this. Because we had the Devil and the Five of Swords energy, there could be someone that's trying to talk you into something, and you just know on a soul level that it doesn't feel right. Please trust in that. Hierophant reversed is also a disruptor, much like a Tower reversed. And it's saying, this is too rigid. This doesn't give me room to breathe. This doesn't help me accomplish my goals. I feel like I'm kind of like painted into a corner here. So a Hierophant reversed is a slightly rebellious way to look at something and say, well, what if we tried it this way? And so innovative, unconventional, and out of the box. This is a time to really be inventive and to try new things. All right, one last card, one last question. If there's anything that you are trying to get some clarity on, and I have yet to kind of address it in this general reading, now is your moment. Go ahead and ask that to the universe and to your guides, and I will report what we've got here. So I just mentioned all the magnet cards. You got 3 of them. You got the Lovers, you got the 10 of Cups, and you got the 2 of Cups. So the Lovers is very, very good. It's reversed, so I'm going to say yes, comma, but in order to really go for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you have to feel a sense of completion within. So there's always a couple of people on the Lovers card, but you attract the same sort of energy that you emanate. So if you're feeling incomplete or unworthy, you pull someone else that has insecurities or tests your insecurities. So whether you're really, really excited about dating someone, working somewhere, or meeting someone for friendship or other opportunities, or you're just excited about something, know that you will be okay with or without that. And also that you're very worthy and deserving of it. So you enter into the first meeting, the first conversation, or the next engagement with this sense that it's fine. It's going to be fine no matter what. Less of a sort of like fixation is what's necessary. There's too much desire, and that can sometimes get in the way of clear thinking. I hope that makes sense. But can you do it? Yes. Just check your emotions and check your common sense first, okay? All right, that's everything. This was a beautiful reading, and I really do think that this month offers change for the better. And if we go back to that rebirth energy, it's just a matter of you thinking in this moment, I can do it in a different way or in a different fashion, and that starts to open up a lot of doors for you. If you enjoyed this reading, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what resonates. I read every single comment that you post, and I just want to say thanks in advance. Also, if you'd like to get notifications on other platforms, it's Nicholas Ashbaugh on all major social media platforms. I'm also on emerging platforms like Blue Sky, and my username there is actually my website address, so nicholasashbaugh.com, and that's also where you can go to find out more about me and get all official links, etc. A reminder that I don't offer any private readings, nor am I going to use direct messages to contact you. If you ever see that, let me know about it so I can block, report, and protect you guys as well. Thank you again for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. I wouldn't be here without your love and support. And with that being said, I think it would be great to close today with a couple of images here of Apollo in the background. I just want to wish all of you a safe and happy holiday season, a happy Sagittarius season, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.